Why buy your next vehicle from Community Motors of Mason City?
Great service from 3 locations. Community on Monroe, Community Motors Westside, and Mason City Ford. 10 new franchises and hundreds of vehicles to give you more choices. Plus, Community offers an exclusive 3-3 warranty on pre-owned vehicles and 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty on new. Need more reasons why? Stop or visit CommunityAutoGroup.com.
Because nobody beats a community deal. Nobody.
What do you think of the fact that the supervisors are just going to go ahead and spend money on the architects before the vote that's going to happen in November?
Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? How can you possibly spend public money on plans and other things for the courthouse when there's going to be a vote about whether we're going to have a new courthouse or not?
Correct.
It's flies in the face of democracy, doesn't it? I mean, why vote if they're going to just go ahead anyway?
Good point.
It also could be illegal. We'll find out.
Okay. Good debate today.
Yes, it was. This is a good county. I'm kind of a newcomer, just here for 2.5 years.
Okay.
A victim of Illinois politics, and I must say that
they're notorious.
There's a lot more free debate here, and there's a lot. Iowans are very expressive and not afraid to stand up and say what they mean, which is good, right?
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah.
And so what was your goal today coming to the meeting with the petitions just being turned in?
Well, actually, I wanted the supervisors to look at it in a rather neutral way because the petitioners looked at it that way. When we decided to present a petition after the legal notice appeared in the paper that we had a right to petition for the submission of the question of whether or not they could issue bonds, we'd been hearing all over the county that people desired to have a voice and that was a democracy. And at one point, I know Supervisor Morrell had said that it was a vocal minority that the board heard from and that really wanted to save the courthouse, and that the silent majority out there didn't really care. Well, in presenting this petition, we made sure that we had the correct legal heading to the petition, and so we engaged a law firm, the Papa John firm, to give us that. And when we presented the petition to people, we simply said, this is not about whether or not you want to restore the courthouse or build a new one. We don't care about, it's your voice, your opinion. I mean, you have a right to voice whether or not they can proceed with an issue of that significance, and issuing bonds. And that's what it was all about. I care not one way or the other. I mean, yes, it's a historic building. We know it needs help, and it may need far too much help to ever really spend that kind of dollars in rehabilitating it. But we felt that they needed to have the correct information before they proceeded, and actually they could have gotten that at a price of $4,683 rather than spending, to date $10,800 and some dollars for the Stallsmith and the Scott and Anderson, who were not, the Scott and Anderson weren't historical preservationists. Actually, the Stallsmith people gave them a one-sheet report that said, it was a budget summary, actually, and it was 5 tasks, and there was a dollar amount associated with each task, and it came up to $68,000 something, and then a contingency fee of over $10,000, I believe. I have the facts here. It amounted to $79,040.
So you're saying it probably would have been cheaper to have the historical group come in the first place?
Well, the historical group, and actually, we received RFPs from, I believe it was 6 or 8 historical preservation firms that said, yes, they could do a needs assessment and a structural evaluation for the dollars that we had, which was $14,000. So, that's what it was about, having the accurate information. We just don't feel that, the firm of Scott and Anderson, I'm not saying that they don't do excellent work, but they've never had any experience in evaluating historic preservation sites. This building is on the National Register of Historic Places, and, it's history, it's heritage to a lot of people in this county. And you probably looked at the beauty of the front yard and so on, and the trees and the Veterans Monument and so on. I'd sure like to to see it saved, but honestly, I don't know that it can be. And I kind of dislike the fact that several board members, or at least one board member, was present when we presented the petitions, took our picture, and put us on Facebook today saying that the two of us would prefer spending $5 to $8 million on preserving a dysfunctional courthouse. You know, that's not accurate.
Mary, how dire is the need then to move forward? The one supervisor noted that if one more brick falls off, they might move out next week. How accurate is that statement?
Well, I think that's pretty inaccurate, but you know, we all are concerned about the safety of the people that work there too, and if indeed it is so unsafe, they should have moved some time ago. We don't want people to be working in an unsafe environment. It must not be too true because they haven't made a move. In fact, they were offered a building rent-free, the Washington School, which, by the way, is a beautiful building and is owned by one of our Preservation Commission members. And she offered them free use of that building, plus even some fuel that's in the basement for free. And they turned that down. And so, you know, they're going to relocate, I guess, out of the plaza. And we really feel, and it was brought up at the meeting at Our Saviors, that indeed, if it's an unsafe building, please, you know, move out. We don't want anybody to be working in an unsafe environment. And I think we all feel that way.
And then another issue that you guys had today was they already okayed hiring an architect, 4 months before the vote. How does that make you feel then?
Well, you know, I think they're moving forward too rapidly, and I did call the State Ethics and Finance Disclosure, or Campaign Disclosure Board. Her name was Sharon or Catherine Wright. I've spoken with her several times, and I simply asked the question, if the board proceeds with this, because I understood that they were going to have the architect do a public relations type thing in the county. If that were to happen, I would assume that means, that the board would be paying the architect to do that. They don't work gratis, I don't believe. And we were concerned about the use of public money being used for that, to really advocate for a vote one way or the other. And I was informed by those people that indeed, once the date of election is set, and I think this morning it was pretty well mentioned anyway, that it would be on the general election ballot. So now, if that's true and the date has been set, no longer can any public money be spent by the Board of Supervisors or the county to advocate for people to vote in favor of a new courthouse. So that's all. We will be filing with the campaign finance disclosure people. We will raise some money, and of course I think probably the information we put out is going to be more or less that we want people to know all the facts before the decision is made and before they make their vote. So,
Sure.
So boil it down. If you got your way out of this whole thing, out of the November vote, what would your way be? What do you want to see happen in a nutshell?
If I were to have my way, I was in this position for 24 years. I was on the Board of Supervisors, and I would not have made a decision of this magnitude without having all the facts. So I truly hope that by November they have all the facts and they can be presented in such a way that the best decision is made, whether or not that be for restoration or whether that be for a new courthouse.